Welcome to Soulfull. Whether you're navigating challenges or celebrating victories,
We're here to remind you that every step on your path is meaningful. I'm Tiff,
and I'm Jess.
so let's clear our mind as we fill our soul. Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Soulful. It's Tiff here, and I'm here with Jess. Hi Jess. We are back for our second episode in 2026, and this is the day before we are recording the day before the Chinese Lunar New Year. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. Not that I know too much about it, just what my social media algorithm keeps feeding me. So we'll talk about that. But we're excited to be here with you guys as always. We're going to get into a topic a little bit later, and we've got something new and fun planned for today. So before we dive into all of that, Jess, why don't you hit us up with a check-in? What's been going on since we last saw each other?
Yeah, I'm so excited to try something new and fun this episode. So I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, for me, it's been a busy, excuse me, busy like few weeks. I'm navigating some new life things, figuring out some stuff over here. So Nova has been really keeping me company and keeping me along on that journey. So I've been I say that as she's sleeping next to me in case we get like an Amazon parcel or something delivered in the next little while. That she's going she's very protective of our home. So, but yeah, other than that, not a lot, I guess. Like I said, things feel really like slow and steady some days, and then they feel like really like vigorous and there's a lot and all of that. So I'm really trying to practice gratitude in each of those like sides, I guess. So
Mm,
I'm proud to being able to kind of keep myself a little bit grounded through the highs and the lows. And yeah, and that's like I won't say it's like really new for me, but kind of new for me. Like I've practiced it a lot and I feel like I talk about it a lot, like in like these conversations or in conversations with other people. So it's just been really interesting to see me take my own advice and talk to myself like I would talk to
mm.
mind, which has not always been my reality. So, anyways, it's just been kind of cool. So, despite all of the shifts and changes in navigating, yeah, I still feel pretty grounded and rooted. So that just feels good, feels good. And the sun is shining. We've had like such. It's still cold, but it's so sunny, and there's just
Mm.
the sun. It's just something about the sun.
It's
I love.
medicine. Yeah.
So true. So, anyways, I'm happy to be able to get out there and enjoy that later today too.
Perfect. How cold is cold still? Because you guys are colder than us usually.
Yeah, I think today it's like we were pretty warm actually, like in the last few days. Like out to like plus 10 a day or two.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
or minus 30 again today, like minus 28. And then I don't know if this is true, but I hear there's like 30 centimeters of snow coming our
That's
way.
great.
So yeah, so we'll get out
Another
there and
foot.
enjoy it. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, fun times.
The winter's supposed to be cut. The groundhog did not see a shadow. I'm holding on to hope. Okay, spring, you better come early. Winter came early. Spring, now it's your time to show up.
You know what I read though about Groundhog Day, and I did not know this, and maybe this is my naivety, I'm not sure, but like apparently these groundhogs are like actual people. So we have one here in Alberta who's like I think his name is like Balzac Billy or something, like he's from Balzac, Alberta. And it's like actually like a man in a groundhog suit. It's not even
What?
an animal. And apparently it's the same for there's like two others across. I don't remember what provinces, but I just went down this Groundhog Day like rabbit hole. Groundhog
I was just gonna say groundhog hole.
the other day, like looking into it. Yeah, apparently there's like a few across this. Like there's one is a puppet. Yeah, there's one that's like a puppet. And anyways, so just a random Groundhog Day fact that I did not know about.
I think I want to spend some time fact checking that. I did not know that. No, we do have one in Ontario because the one in Ontario did not see a shadow, but however, just across in the States, that little sucker did.
Oh, okay.
So mixed reviews.
Mixed reviews. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll have to see which groundhog comes through.
Praying for the one that spring comes early. Um, yeah, that's okay. The one thing that I can appreciate about this time of year, like January, a lot of people find November and December hard because it's so dark. I think because it's my birthday and I get so excited for Christmas, I don't struggle with that part. But January I find really hard because it's cold. I don't want to be outside. Daylight is still less than most months. But I'm
Yeah.
noticing now like it's daylight when I wake up and the daylight's lasting till 6 p.m. almost. So I'm like, okay, I feel some
Yeah.
sense of normalcy returning to my body.
So true. It's like so like relieving when it gets to
Yes.
that days are longer. Yeah, absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's not even that I mind short days, but short days mean I just want to sleep a lot more. I like literally want to go into hibernation mode and I work a night job. So, yeah.
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 But anyway, I didn't want to take over your check-in. You just got me all excited about groundhog. Was there anything else?
Just the groundhogs, just the stuff and yeah, day by day.
All
Day by
right.
day. Yeah, what about you?
Yeah, lots moving over here, in nothing specific, but just random little pockets of things. Um, been big into the Olympics right now, hardcore watching all of the figure skating.
Um,
Feeling proud of Canada. We're doing all right. We still have the pairs long program left as of recording this, and then we have all of the women's program. So we'll see. But we've taken a bronze medal so far, and our male skater took fifth, which was really unexpected. So, yeah, felt good to watch that and cheer us on.
no.
Um, it is, I mentioned this as we first opened up, it is the Lunar New Year, Chinese Lunar New Year tomorrow. And
Okay.
I've went down a little bit of a rabbit hole or a groundhog hole, whatever you want to call it, around that. And apparently, there's all these specific things you're not supposed to do. So I screenshot them to share with everyone. Although we will be past this, so I hope. But just this will be for your information, okay? So
So we just
apparently,
a list of
we're not supposed to clean or sweep because we're sweeping the good energy away. That's supposed to start off our new year.
okay.
Freshly arrived luck and wealth, you're getting rid of it. You're not supposed to argue, complain, or speak negatively because that's going to shape your year ahead.
Okay.
This one's very interesting. You're not supposed to use knives or scissors. Sharp objects symbolically cut lack, relationships, or prosperity. You're not supposed to wash your hair. Now, that's going to be a hard one for me because tomorrow's hair wash day. So we'll see. Again, you're washing away your wealth. You're not supposed to borrow or lend money because it is a year of debt or financial leakage. And last but not least, you're not supposed to break things. It will represent broken fortune. Those are a lot of stressors.
Yeah. Yeah, and I low key hope that we didn't just give everyone a list of things that they did on the Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year, whatever.
Yep. Yep.
It's
I know it
hilarious.
popped in my algorithm, and then next thing I'm over here, I'm looking at this, I'm reading about that, and I was like, sent it to my partner, and I was like, listen, these are the things we cannot do tomorrow. Um, yeah, anyway. No, it's supposed to be the year. I am not an astrology guru by any stretch, but it's, or into like Chinese numerology or things of that nature. I know little bits that I've learned, but yeah, it's the year of the fire horse. We're just ending the snake. So the snake was shedding. The year of the fire horse is supposed to be a lot of powerful momentum and aspirations and chasing towards dreams, goals, that kind of thing. So that's a very simple paraphrasing. Like I said, I'm not a guru. Just that's my take on it.
I learned those are two new things that I've learned because I had no idea about anything about the Lunar New Year. Did you say the Lunar New Year? Chinese
Yeah,
Lunar?
Chinese Lunar New Year. Yeah.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, because Aquarius is the first, I believe, and Capricorn's the. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know more than that. But anyway, that's just where I've been. So that's tomorrow. So my mind's been on that a little bit. Not that I'm expecting some like. Actually, it would be very funny to wake up and have just this like overbarreling energy that I just don't know what to do with. Like, just want to go. That's what I envision when I keep hearing like momentum and whatever. It's just a horse galloping really fast. So If you see me with the zoomies, you know what happened. Anyway, the other thing is I stay tuned, but we talk about physical health here a little bit. I started a functional medicine journey. So far, so interesting. Nothing's really changed for me, but I'm just fascinated by how it works. And for those who don't know that are listening, functional medicine is like really looks at body as whole system and goes to root issues versus symptoms or things that happen as a byproduct based on something else going on in your body. So it really looks at how we metabolize things, like how, yeah, just how the systems are running. And as somebody who nerds out for information and learning and things like that, like it's really interesting to pick the doctor's brain. I'm like, oh, why did you say that? And well, what does that mean? And what do you mean by that? And she's like, oh, and she has an answer for everything. It's amazing. Yeah, I pay for it, but it's like, it satiates a lot of curiosity in me and actually like lights me up quite a bit too because it's like things I don't know anything about. So
Okay.
anyway, stay
We'll have to
tuned,
keep.
everyone. I'll update as I go along this journey. Yeah. Anyway, I'd say those are the major things for me right now. Olympics, New Year, functional medicine. I don't want to say nothing important. It is important, but yeah, it's pretty lighthearted over here. Anyway, so we're going to kick us off into a new segment. What we might bring it back and do it again. I just thought Jess and I could have a little fun playing a game. And if any of you are millennials listening, you may have played this game in university of a very well-known drinking game, but we're going to take it to a different place, and that is Never Have I Ever. I'm sure most of you are familiar with it, but basically a quick rundown of the rules is I will share a statement. Jess is not aware of what these statements are also. Never have I ever blank, and if you have done it, you need to take a drink. However, Jess and I are in our healing girl eras. We will be taking sips of water. I think you have water, yes. And my water, I've recently discovered I find soda water more delicious in a wine glass. I don't know, I feel fancy. So now I've been drinking all my soda water.
Yeah, everything is better in a wine glass or like a whiskey glass. I love using my short whiskey glasses.
Yeah,
I
these are
like I was.
fancy. Yeah, some of these are a little lighthearted. Some of them hit on a little bit of a serious note. If you want to abstain, Jess, we won't know. You don't have to fully answer if you don't want to. I think I will drink this cup of water pretty fast. It was hard not to pick things that resonated with me because I was reading the list and I was like, so anyway, I will probably have to drink water a lot, but that's okay.
Are
So
we
we
fire or are we taking time to time with them after? What do you think we're doing here?
I'd say roll with it. If there's something that you really feel like you want to say, there's space to say it. That's totally fine. If you don't feel like there's anything, I'll just jump to the next question. And so for everyone listening at home, go grab yourself your favorite beverage. You're going to play with us. And yeah, join in on the fun. Okay, so this is Never Have I Ever Healing Edition. And so all the questions are based in that category. All right, so our first one is Never have I ever lied to my therapist. I definitely omitted, which I think counts as a lie. Dance around everything but saying the truth.
I feel like I could, that question was like, take a drink for every time you find.
You be refilling? So funny. We pay to go in there and get our brains dissected, and then we go in and we lie.
Yeah, I know. I was just going to say, if you're listening, this has been a long time ago. I don't do that currently.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say something, but I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it. Never have I ever rehearsed what I was going to say in therapy.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Especially that truth I was omitting. All the other sessions, it's like, now, how am I going to go in and tell her this?
I definitely rehearse the laws.
Gotta have my story straight. Love it. This one hits me right in the gut. Never have I ever tried to sound more healed than I actually was. I think I need to take a gulp. Okay. Never have I ever diagnosed myself after one Instagram post.
I feel like I would definitely take a half a sip after that for sure. Like I don't know if I would be like a full blown thing, but pretty close.
Yeah. I'm really with you. Have I identified really problematic patterns and stuff in myself from Instagram? Yes.
Yeah.
Have I given myself a full diagnosis? No. Yep.
Yeah.
Um, Another one that I need to take a gulp for. Never have I ever over intellectualized instead of feeling.
Yeah.
Who wants to feel when I can think about it instead? Um, Never, I don't know for sure if I've done this, but it's a pretty human thing. So, never have I ever cracked a joke to dodge a vulnerable moment. I feel like that's a human thing.
hmm That one, yeah, that it was like a really, and still, I'm sure probably I still do this from time to time, but like that was like my power move. Like I was so good at that
Yeah.
to avoid ability.
And you are very funny. So also then yeah, you pair that with your wit. Oh my. Ironclad
Yeah.
armor.
Yeah, it was something I seen the other day, actually, speaking of scrolling Instagram, but it was something like, um, I'm only or being funny is like my trauma response or something like that. And I was like, those are the posts that I could really relate to. Like, you know what I mean? I remember thinking, I was like, yeah, that's true. Like funny. Anyways.
Yep. I sometimes the Instagram posts, it feels like they're in my soul and I'm like, "Oh my God, like why do you know that so much about me?" Like I actually got to spend less time on my Instagram, like Loki, not kidding, because I follow so many content creators around healing, growth, personal development that it's like an inundation of like information and like trying to discern through it. It's like swimming through a sea of weeds.
It's so true because people also have like conflicting, like different like things, right? Like you get access to information and like it's not always the same. And so then and it's like sometimes like confusing, like especially when, yeah, anyways.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Um, I don't know, Jess, if you're going to fall in this category, but we both know I will. Never have I ever overshared and immediately wanted to evaporate.
Um, you know what? I'm not, I think this leads into the vulnerability part. I'm not really much of a sharer.
Yeah.
Like I'm, you know what I mean? Like I really get to know someone. So yeah, I'll
Yep.
save my drink.
Yep. Um, this one actually made me LOL when I read it because of the truth. Never have I ever ignored a red flag because I see their wounded inner child. And this is just a bonus one. It's pretty much in the same vein, but it's funny. Never have I ever stayed too long because I believed my love could heal them. Oh my God, the amount of times. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm almost out of a whole bubbly already. All right. Good way to get our water intake in. Okay.
God.
Never have I ever weaponized therapy language.
hmm Yeah.
Yeah.
See, therapy is good for something. You can get something. I'm just kidding. Like,
Yeah.
anyway.
Oh, Jess. All right. Yeah. So for those of you who've been on the fence, here is your motivation. Okay. All right. Never have I ever missed a toxic dynamic because it felt familiar. Sad but true.
Yeah, so true.
I gotta switch to my other water bottle. Never have I ever chosen chaos over peace because peace felt boring.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. That's what makes me laugh. Never have I ever needed 3 to 5 business days to recover from a realization.
Like I need like more than that, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah, 3 to 5, sometimes 3 to 5 months. All right. Uh, never have I ever believed healing meant I'd never get triggered again. Oh, damn, do I wish that was true.
Yeah, that's so true. I think this is like what happens, right? Like we think we do the work and then we're like, oh, this is so great. I'm doing all of the things and now I'm fixed or I'm better. And then like out of nowhere, it's like boom. Like it's the hardest. It's the hardest. This one sucks. I wish I didn't have to drink to that.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like it's really I mean, yeah, I hear it from my clients all the time. Oh, I just don't want to I just don't want to deal with that anymore. Like I want to get through it and it be done. And I'm like, buckle up.
Yeah.
All right, buckle up. Um, never have I ever over explained my needs instead of just honoring them.
Hmm.
The codependent in me is shining through. Uh, what else do I have here? I've got 2 more. Okay. I don't know if I've done this one, but it made me laugh. Never have I ever tried to love and light my way out of very real anger. Yeah, I don't think so either, but
Can't relate.
yeah. When I'm in my anger, I'm in it, baby. Yeah. No,
You
I
know
like
what?
go for it.
I Yeah, like I was just gonna say, I guess yeah, like when we talk about like the love and light part, like for sure. But I think even earlier this week I was sharing with you actually how like, even in the anger, like trying to like ground in the gratitude and that part. Um, yeah, it just hasn't always been successful. So
100%. No, I got no love and light from my anger. I probably shared this here before, but I rage garden. And if I can't garden outside, I rage clean inside the house. That's where my anger often goes if I don't burn it off physically some other way. But the love and light is like that toxic positivity piece. Like if like yeah,
yeah, definitely can't relate to
yeah,
that.
yeah, ditto. And this last one is one you can interchange universe with God, creator, whatever faith resonates for you, but never have I ever asked the universe for a sign and absolutely ignored it.
I love that one.
Saved it for last. Yeah. Yeah.
The sign any clearer. Like it will be like, yeah, I don't know what, but
I really like to double down. I'm like, "Oh, I see that you've given me that sign. Well, I don't really like that. So now I need you to give me this one." Yeah. Yeah. Just to be sure when I like deep down know that I'm avoiding something, but anyway.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that was fun.
Yeah. Well, that concludes our first edition of Never Have I Ever. If you guys enjoyed it and you have any other categories you'd like us to do in Never Have I Ever in, be happy to do it again. That was fun. And I got in a whole bunch of water real quick. So
Yeah.
win win.
Yeah, that was good. I like that.
Awesome. So today we're gonna chit chat a little bit. We're gonna switch gears here. We're gonna chit chat a little bit around building community, honoring authenticity, things in that vein. And we don't have anything prepared. Justin and I are just here to shoot it back and forth and see where the conversation takes us. But where it's come from, well, I've been doing a lot of thinking. In 2025, I did a lot of thinking about community and what that means because I really felt like most of my community was online or at a distance, and I didn't really have much of a physical community here. And I was like, how do I build that for myself? And so last year around this time, I started going, I probably talked about it on the podcast. I started going on blind dates with friends, friend blind dates. Didn't know these
Mhm.
people, just started going out and trying to meet people because I was like, I don't really know how to do this, but I was intentional about it.
Yeah.
And that didn't really fit for me in trying to find, because again, I'm already okay with people one on one, but I was looking to be like in a bigger community setting. So I've talked about this here before, but the bar piece, I was surprised to find such a sense of community there. But it doesn't come to me as any surprise that I often feel like I don't fit. It's not to say that I don't. I feel like it's old patterning or conditioning in me. I really don't know what it is yet. I'm being really honest here. I don't know. But like, I have a very different way of seeing the world, but we all do. And so, how do we honor ourselves being in a community that perhaps isn't like when I go into a community full of coaches, spiritual girlies, things like that, I feel like I really fit. Like I feel like that connects to my truest self. I don't There's not much effort there, but I feel like we can build community outside of that. I think about really strong community leaders. They look at like everybody as like, no, actually, I don't even know how to finish that. But I know myself as a leader is I'm not looking at somebody's like values or beliefs as something that divides us. I'm just like, oh, well, who are you? Tell me about yourself. What are you doing? Like, and just because I'm curious about you. So I'll follow up with say one more thing. I had a group chat on Friday and I had someone else say basically the same thing. And they were like, I can't be myself because nobody here has the same values as me. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, is that true? And I wasn't disbelieving her truth. I was just like, again, I've just been in this space around curiosity. So I'm just going to stop talking now, Jess, and invite you to share anything you might want to share around the topic or anything that might be sparked or even clarifying questions. Because I think community is something that, well, we need it. And how can we build it and still be true to ourselves? And yeah, whatever you feel like sharing.
Yeah. Yeah, this is just a couple of initial reflections. The first one was when you said like we all see the world in a different way, right? Like we all like even people who are very similar in the way that they might think or their things that they're involved in or things that they do, we still see things in like the world in a different way. And so um, as you were talking and sharing, one of the things really popped out at me, and this is like a little bit of a different like situation or scenario, but like I remember last year going to the Rockville concert. Okay.
Yes.
So
Yep.
it's like over I think 200,000 people like over the course of those 4 days or whatever. And I remember feeling like in that space of like, it was, even though we met people when we were there, like, chatted and kind of like connect in different levels. But I explicitly remember like looking at so many people at the concert and being like, I don't think I have anything in common with anybody here. And then it struck me of like, we're here for the same reason. We're all here to listen to music. We're going off the vibe. Like we're here for a good time. And so it just for me, like I think that was one of the things um that really kind of how could I say like normalized where we all are in life, like in what
Mm-hmm.
we're doing and what we're about. And I think for a long time, especially even like this was about a year ago now, I was like really in like a growth place, like a really in a growth pace. And I think that I needed that. Like I needed to see what connection really meant and what community could mean. Um,
Mm.
surrounded we weren't having like deep conversations, we weren't talking about like some we did, right? We went down that of like, well, where you're from and where do you grow up, and like you go down, you learn stuff about people. um but yeah, so it's not like an ongoing community. Like I'm not connected to them now, so I guess it's a little like different than having like
Mm-hmm.
people around. But I don't know, it was something that really, yeah, I just thought about as you were sharing of like yeah, we're all kind of in a different place, we see things differently, but usually if we're in a same environment, like we have something in common that can bring, I guess, root back to like community or connection or whatever, even if we do see things that are different, like other
Mm-hmm.
things that are,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're well, and I understand what you're saying. It's like not like the community you've taken with you, but it's the same kind of thing. You were looking at it one way, and it's like, oh wait, we're all here. There's a common thread here, and and if we don't even know the other people, how do we even know? Like we might have, there might be so many more things in common too. But and and I just wonder what is even the, as you're talking, like what is the importance even of the things in common? Like what is it that that does? Just a hypothetical question. Like for our nervous systems, where, because like I said, I go into a space where people speak in a similar way to me or whatever, and I feel at ease to show up even more just in the moment than I do in some spaces. um like what it does for our nervous system, I wonder, to be in spaces where it feels more common or familiar, maybe, like because we do still see the world in our own respective like perspectives and experiences and whatever. So yeah, that's a hypothetical. If you have thoughts, feel free, but
Yeah, I guess like I don't know, now that I'm like thinking about it, like I feel that sometimes that is what resists us for connections to other people, right? Like when it's kind of like how do I show up authentically in spaces? And I can really relate to that here, like where I live, of like my value and or my values and the way I do like choose to show up and my perspectives on a lot of different things from, like, yeah, like I said, core values to like politics. There's a lot of things, a lot of layers that I show up very different than some of the people that I'm around. But it's also like I still feel like I don't lose that authentic part of who I am, of like
mm,
face with people who have like there's 100 people and they all have different opinions or perspectives or beliefs, then I still feel very comfortable and confident to show up in mine. And I think the thing is too is that we learn those spaces. And also there are some times when, yeah, I'm not going to talk about stuff like that. Like I'm not going to go down a conversation about politics, for example, right? If I'm in a place where I know like I don't
yeah.
necessarily connect with people on that. But the community or, the people around, yeah, I can have, a fire with and, a roasted meat as we're having a laugh and maybe, they're having a drink and I'm having water. And like, so there are all of these things that I guess I show up, like, I'm not going to sit down and have a beer with them because I don't do that, but I can sit up and show up and have a laugh and kind of carry on. And it still feels like a community, just in a different like yeah it's like a different way, I guess. I don't
Hmm.
know like that, but
Yeah.
um
Yeah, because the politics, that's, I mean, that is the thing lately that has been jumping out at me as one of the main, like, we're starting to see people's political preferences more and more and more and more lately with the way the world is. And we don't need to have a political conversation here, but I found myself in several lately. And I don't, it's not that I initiate the conversation, but I think some things really just really matter to me. And so when I hear it being spoken about in an opposite way, might not be the, I might want to read the room a little more. I don't know, but I've been noticing it's been causing a bit of division. And I'm like, how do we honor that I'm allowed to feel the way I feel? You're allowed to feel the way you feel about it. But knowing, I mean, I have no control over how they want to show up. And I'll give you an example. I was talking about something about billionaires. Now, I'm not even going to get into it because I'm not here for the political conversation. But this guy was in conversation with me, and it's a man I've had many, many, many conversations with. And then he was like, and I gave my views, whatever. And then I was like, oh, I got to go check in on my table. And he said, and he was getting ready to head out. And I said, have a good day. When I came back around to the other side, he's sitting there with, he's got all his gear on, ready to leave. And he said, what did you mean by that? And it was like very like in my face. And I was like, oh, well, just this. And he was so mad. And he proceeded to go on for about 15 minutes about all the reasons why I was wrong, and like why I needed to believe what he believed. And I was like, oh, but like I don't need to believe what you believe. We can still be respectful towards each other. I was like, why does it have to be your way or no way? Like I tried to poke a little bit, but I poked and it made more anger. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna leave this, like I'm just gonna leave it where it is. But with the political landscape, it's becoming, I'm seeing more division in amongst the community that I'm in. And that makes me a little bit more attuned to be like, don't say the wrong thing. Don't be, I'm noticing myself needing to regulate a little bit more. And so instead of like, I don't know, I feel like, and maybe this is a very premature thing to say because I don't have my whole head wrapped around it, but what it feels like is that I am scanning the room for reasons for division or threat. We could even say threat versus like scanning the room for reasons why I belong, you know? And so it's almost like my brain has flipped into what it's looking for because I've been a part of this community for not almost a year now, you know? So it's not like it's new, you know? And it's just been interesting to notice. So I mean, I've been trying to catch myself in the moments where I'm like doing that threat scanning, being like, okay, like it's okay, we can breathe, like not, there's no lion here, you know? But yeah, I just wonder how people are navigating this, like, you know, with the political differences being so in our faces right now, because I mean, it's probably been very polarized lots of times, but I do feel that polarization and I feel the tension sometimes between people that not even necessarily that I'm talking to, but between the people sitting there chatting. And yeah, how do we hold space for all of our differences while still building a strong and stable community?
Yeah, and it's hard because like the thing is that like you use the word threat, and I think that's such a fair word to use because especially on that topic of like just what we see like happening around the world, like it is there's a lot more fear now around different or opposing views or opposing like perspectives than what
Yeah,
I've ever ways. Um, and so, yeah, like I think that it probably does make it harder to like look for the opportunity of connection versus look for safety, right? Of like, how
yeah,
can, and then it's hard to show up, authentically or in, I wouldn't even say is like not like, because I think our values don't change, but it's harder to vocalize that or to
yeah,
really lean into sharing what I really think about something or whatever. Honestly, I have a rule that like I actually, there are a few things that I just don't talk to about people that I don't know really well. And that is one of them. And for that reason, because the thing is like, yeah, I still want to show up and have a fire and have a laugh with you. But I know that if our conversation goes somewhere else, that it's not going to work. And like also the more I hear you share about that, sometimes I'm like, I actually it's not going to make me want to show up for a fire and a drink the next time, It's
yeah,
like I am really like cognizant of that. I think I have been for the last few years, just like I said, yeah, often I find in spaces I'm someone who has a different kind of view on a lot of different things. Um, but I also think because it's really in our face sometimes, like it's really hard for people to disconnect from. I'm like, I'm not my, how can I say this? I guess like it's like, yes, my values and my beliefs are a part of who I am, but it's like I also can respect other people's,
yeah,
not saying I agree. I think respect and agreeing with are two very different things, and it
100%.
always is right. But it's like, yeah, like I, not everyone has the ability to do that too, right? And so it's hard. Yeah, it does make it hard, especially looking for a community of, yeah, maybe there's like different communities for different parts of us too, right? Like if we want the lighthearted stuff, like that doesn't get too deep, then I have a community for that. If I want to
Mm,
have conversations on the same page as me with like-minded people or people who are going to push me or people who will like kind of like open my mind or maybe have a productive conversation about something that's different than I believe in. I value that. I love doing that and I have a community for that.
mm,
Um and so I don't know, maybe that's something that yeah, maybe that's something that works
mm.
for me.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. Like, just I'm just thinking about my social meter, but like, yeah, having a different community for which I guess we naturally do have or gravitate towards, or I do anyway. Because there's something about when if I'm only in with one pocket of people, one community, it can be quite blinding or like meaning like it's all I'm taking in, so it can become kind of consuming, not blinding. Consuming was the word I was looking for. And like even like I said, like even in the coaches ring, like if I spent too much time in different coaching spaces, while I feel like I fit and I belong, it is a lot of information, and then people don't always have the same information, and then I'm feeling like conflicted, and and kind of sometimes I can lose myself. I guess that's what it is. I can lose myself a little bit. But this concept of having, I love what you said, different communities for like, or communities for different parts of us. I think that's an
Mhm.
interesting thought. Um, yeah, because I do get like I think community and connection. I mean, connection goes hand in hand with it here, but yeah, I have lots of connections at my work for sure. Um, but that's not the only place that is going to nourish me. And do I always need to be nourished from community? I don't know, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that's true, right? Like, and I go back to the Rockville, like the concert thing where it's like I I just showed up. Like, I just wanted to be like really
yeah,
present, just like enjoy what we were there for. Um, and it was exactly what we all did, right? It was like so people I guarantee that there were people that I had conversations with or like, that connected with that I would never connect with and like like just outside of that experience together.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I mean, it was nourishing in a way of like I got to see like artists and things that I've always wanted to, like in that way. But also I wouldn't say it was like, it wasn't like thought provoking or it wasn't like a really big like, value shifting experience
right.
like that. But yeah, I think yeah, it did serve a purpose, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. It's I feel like there's like light bulbs going off in my head right now. It was a very simple statement you said, but it makes sense because and so maybe it's not so much I'm like low key having this conversation to figure myself out, but it's not like because I work so much at my place of work and that doesn't need to change, but that is majority of where my hours are spent if I was to look up the division of the week. Maybe it's less about anything about the community and maybe it's more about maybe I just now need to balance that with some other spaces that feel like other for other parts of me. I don't know. I feel like that was a really wise thing you said. And my brain's like ding. Sometimes realizations I'm saying it out loud, I'm like it sounds so simple, but like I just didn't think about it like that, I was thinking about just this like I guess really generalized idea of building community and like looking to do it wherever I went kind of thing, but I never stopped to consider that different parts of me might want different communities, and that makes total flipping sense. Yeah.
Well, and I think the thing is too, that doesn't change you, right? Like I
No.
don't think that us in the different communities because we still have the same values, the same
Yeah.
beliefs, the same ideas about life and all of the things. Um, but yeah, we're like looking at us as whole beings. I think there are different parts of us who need different things in different moments, right? Like,
100%.
yeah, it doesn't change the authenticity. I think we're still like my values don't waver because of the people who have different, opposing the same as for your
Right.
at the end of the day we know what that looks like, but yeah, sometimes it's nice just to shoot the shit and have fun, let that fun part of me or
Yeah.
socializing part, where it's
Extroverted part. Yeah.
just fun loving lighthearted, like just fun.
Yeah. Yeah, because this connection nourishes the deep parts of me a lot more than, some spaces do. Yeah, I'm just going back now thinking about that statement. Well, I can't be myself here because nobody's basically like me, or nobody is shares my values. And I just, as I think about that statement, and I just paraphrased it, but I wonder if it's if I can't speak for this individual, but what's coming up for me is like do they feel like if they're not expressing all their full truth, are they not being authentic? Like, what does authenticity mean to them then? You know what I mean? Because, like, you just said something that sparked that thought. It's like, well, my values don't shift, but maybe you're not communicating them. You can answer
Yeah.
that. I don't know. Yeah, you're just not necessarily communicating them. You're using discernment of like what spaces to communicate said things.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think that's a good point too. Is like, yeah, what does authentic? Because maybe being authentic to somebody else could mean something different. Maybe they wouldn't
Yeah.
be okay different spaces and being around people with different like opinions because it's different. I wouldn't even say like I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean like it's harder to share spaces that there's not that connection on a bunch of different levels.
Yeah.
So it does feel more innocent. But yeah, like for me, I don't think that I can say I don't feel inauthentic to who I am just in the spaces that the different like communities or in the different places I show up.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. And I think about how much as like we go back to our never have I ever healing. Like one of the things that gets preached a lot is like be your authentic self no matter what room you're in. You'll know you're so healed when you can show up as your whole self. And as I'm thinking about this conversation, I feel like that's actually kind of dangerous a little bit in the black and white nature of it because I don't think I ever sat in the nuance of this before.
Mm.
Um, yeah, because again, yeah, I think getting clear on what authenticity means to us individually is probably maybe a good starting point, like because again, it's probably not going to be the same. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're right about like kind of that feels very rigid of like, and also it's like I don't think anyone else gets to determine for me what showing up as my whole self looks like.
Yeah.
Like, I even think about people who have really powerful voices and they really are very outspoken and like bigger spaces with like lots of like different people too, right? Like coming from different backgrounds and different experiences and all that stuff. And they're just very outspoken and very loud on like maybe their own values or maybe their own like whatever. Um and yeah, like if that feels true for people, that's great. But for me, like I do feel very like a sense of because I want to be safe for one thing. That's a value of mine is to be safe. Like I want to make sure that I have the right people around me before I'm gonna, um, so yeah, just going back to like what does that really mean? And I think those people who are really outspoken and really loud and really like kind of, like that, I don't think that they're any more authentic than me. And I don't think that they're any less too.
Hmm.
Like I think it's just how they choose to show up, the same as I would choose to show up, the same as you choose to, like we all
Yeah.
choose in different ways. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, because like as somebody who masked most of my life, like I would really absorb the environment I was in and really adapt myself to said environment. It was a way to stay safe, makes sense. But I had someone ask me a question literally last week, and I had a therapeutic sauna session this week, and I just really like let myself sit with that. And he said, "Well, this makes me think." I said something, and he's like, "This makes me think, like, who are you really?" And that's what he said to me, and I was like, "Ooh, that's a question I'm not answering here." And he's like, "I don't know, like, are you masking?" Like, and I can't remember exactly what I said. And then I thought about it, and I was like, "Well, if I was to be what I consider like my truest authentic self." I am very hippy dippy. I am bare feet in the grass. I am a sister of the earth. I am in the woo woo, and that feels really true and real for me. But the space I'm in, I can tell you, I let a little bit out of the bag one day, and this one man keeps calling me annoying all the time. And I don't even take it to heart. I'm just like, well, yeah, clearly we don't share the values. But yeah, so yeah, that art of like, yeah, maybe that part doesn't necessarily come out there, but the fun and light does. And like that's yeah, that's enough too. I think also for a lot of us who have been like we've been hurt or like we've been hurt in our family systems, I think the idea this is a conversation we had gotten into and I'd be curious your thoughts, Jess, but like the being in community can actually feel really threatening and dangerous of like being seen, being known, like being afraid of getting hurt by people seeing and knowing you. So I don't know where I was going with that. That squirrel thought just went right out the window. But yeah, community's not necessarily always a safe thing, I think. Um,
Yeah, and I guess like the thing is too is like even I mean going back to like the definitions of things, it's like when I remember when I moved here, like I really had to think about what it is that community means for me. Like like, is it just people? Because that's very different. Like having physical people around, I can go to Walmart and find people. That part, but it's like the community for me, I think, in the way it's changed over the years is really like a physical presence, but it's like dependence, it's like loyalty, it's like, the showing up, it's like, yeah, something happens and someone's there to like support you through it, or whatever. And the physical component of that has become more important
Yeah.
to me over the years,
Yeah.
like. And so yeah, like I think like, yeah, I guess going back to the same as what authentic means, like also what is it that you want to get from community? Because some people just really want to be around people, right? Like they don't really care about what level they connect on. It's like I
Mm-hmm.
just don't want to be physically alone, kind of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, it'd be very different for someone who's like, I want to show up in a community and get nourishment and get, like to yeah, to have deep connections or whatever. Probably don't go to Walmart if you're looking for that.
Yeah. I'm writing that question down. What do I need or want? I think is some around what you said from community. Like what is it I'm hoping, or what is it like? What does that mean? Yeah, because once upon a time, like, you and I've talked about this here. Like, yeah, it was escaping my life as much as I could. So if I was around people, I could avoid everything, and that's not what I look for anymore. Um, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna dive into that in my own reflections over the next little bit and deepen into this because yeah, I don't know. I've been fascinated by it since, well, like, because COVID really divided, like, I don't want to say it took away our community because it's not that, but like our physical capacity. And I really feel like I've been still trying to navigate the world post COVID of like, because we work from home a lot and we're still, so like just navigating all of those social structures and things that make my neurodivergent brain just want to explode sometimes. But
No, it's so true. And I think I've shared this on here before too, but like, yeah, I've really seen a shift even in my like what I think I'm getting back to the more of the extroverted kind of like point now, which I've really been enjoying actually, because my soul still longed for it. Like that's still who.
yes.
It was just harder to do it because there was years where I didn't have it. And then, cue the new place and not meeting people because of COVID and nobody could go anywhere. I couldn't socialize. Anyway, so I'm finally getting back to a place there and it feels so good, right?
Mm,
But I think when things like that happen, yeah, it impacts us. It impacts our
yeah.
community, the way that we can even communicate and interact around people, like, so yeah, there's all these like external factors outside of ourselves too that impacts, our ability to create community for sure, and COVID was definitely one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a major shift in humans. Yeah. Consciousness for sure. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I knew we would get on here and you'd light my brain up. I just knew it because that's what happens every time you and I have a conversation. You impart your wisdom, or we have good questions, or whatever, whatever. But is there any other things coming up for you that maybe you wanted to share before we kind of close it down for today?
I don't like, I think the only thing I would say is around community. Like, I think it's like actually really normal for us to crave community.
Yeah.
And I also think it'd be normal for us not to crave community too. Like, you know what I mean? So I just, yeah, for whoever's listening, kind of like maybe never thought about any of the things that we've talked about today. Like, yeah, I think not everyone wants a community, or not everyone really
Hmm.
longs for that. And so like I think that's completely fair too, right? But the same question goes back to of like, yeah, what does that look like, or what does
Yeah.
connection? And I really love talking about this because it's one of the things that I really want to strengthen, I
Yeah.
think, like forward. So yeah, I just really appreciated the conversation. Lots of things to think about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good point too about the community for those. Because, yeah, I'm thinking about some introverts in my life who could not be bothered to be in any of those spaces, and that's fine too. But what does community mean for them? It could mean something totally different. I'd be curious. So please spam us. Let us know, what does community mean for you if you want to share.
Yeah.
Because I'd love to learn from you. Point blank. Um, anyway, yeah, this was really good, and I had some light bulbs go off. So thank you, Jess. And yeah, if any more thoughts come up, we can chat about it again next time if things come up in the meantime. But yeah, for all of you tuning in, I hope you had fun playing our game with us today, and let us know if you want to do some more of that in the future or different types of games. I mean, we're here to have some fun. So, yeah.
All I can
What?
think of is the last episode where I forgot what to say.
So real. It was so real. What is it I'm supposed to say here right now?
Oh, too funny.
Yeah, it was funny. 2 month hiatus, and Jess is like, and we're done. That's okay. Well, on that note, to our lovely community, I hope you have a great start to your Firehorse year. You will not be hearing this until 2 weeks, so I hope we didn't jinx you with any of the things on the list. Hopefully you found it before you listened to this podcast. And yeah, stay soulful, everyone. Thanks for tuning into Soulfull. We hope you found something meaningful to carry with you on your journey. And if you enjoyed today's episode and want to show your support, we invite you to subscribe, share the podcast, and leave a review wherever you listen.
And if you're eager for more, you can connect with us on Instagram and Facebook at Soulfull the Podcast for additional content and updates. Until next time, stay soulful.